Welcome to the jungle. Because that's like my favorite place to answer questions, the jungle. Alright, let's get further on the massive, awesome list of Q&As. What are your thoughts on the prequels? Probably the Star Wars stuff. Haven't seen any of them yet. Oh yeah, I have. Like the first two or whatever. Yeah, they're pretty good. They're pretty good. I like them. I like all the Star Wars stuff. Despite the fact that I use Jedi and the Force all the time, I'm not like a Star Wars fan guy that like has Star Wars gear and stuff. I totally like the movies, but I don't, I don't like know all the lore, and I just connect with the idea of the Force. It's really cool. Like the Force, it's positive and negative, and it's both there, and it's real. You can interact with it, and being a Jedi, someone who works with that, because that's real. It's something. It's something. Hold on, I gotta talk to this guy. Oh yeah, it's my brother, King of the Jungle. Okay, so yeah, cool question though. Much love, amigo. My friends, my friends. Why is this thing not scrolling down? There we go. You said Nether by the Day was how you would bodybuild. How would you power build? When I'm building power, it's really simple. The way I do it. I tend to build power mostly on one or two exercises at a time, and usually one, because I don't train it. Not a power lifter, so I don't have to I can just do whatever I want. So sometimes I pick one exercise and just power build at that and only that, and everything else maybe I'm doing a little more bodybuilding type thing. So when I'm power building, it's right now I'm power building for a rack pull. So the way I'm doing it now, I'm lifting so heavy. It's just the simplest thing in the world. It's just once a week. I work up to a single rep max, So I just put some weight on there, lift it a few times, start warming up, Start adding plates, start adding weights, work my up slowly, and then I'm doing singles and just adding a plate, doing singles and working my way up to a 1 rep max. And that's it, That's my power building. And I gain strength just as good that way as anything else I've tried. But that's gaining strength. And I do strength and everything else about muscles separately. So the reason I make quick gains doing that is because I'm always coming out of a phase of doing a lot of other stuff. So the muscles are fresh with some new nucleuses, some new muscle fibers, some new glycogen holding capacity. Something's new because they've been going through a different kind of training real intensely. So whenever I head back into pure strength power mode, body always responds really well because it's working with better equipment. I won't be as strong at any of my power exercises, if I haven't done them for a while. Even if my muscles are bigger, I won't be as strong when I first start into strength mode. But that strength will come back quickly, and then I'll surpass where I was, no problem. I'll probably surpass it, impressively. So that's just kind of the way it's been for me, the way I do things, Those are more my patterns with it. But power building for me, it's super simple, super fun. It's just usually lift specific. Now, if you're working on something and a certain muscle groups, like holding the others back, like say it was your bench and you knew you had just lagging, I don't know, triceps, and you knew that by making your triceps bigger, more muscle, you'd be able to bench more, right? Well, then obviously you're going to want to do that with your triceps. Put in the work and figure out how to develop some muscle mass to bring up your bench. But if the muscles doing the lift are balanced in strength, the way I train it is I just lift up to a 1 rep max. And depending on what the lift is, maybe I'll do that twice a week or there's been times where I only did it once every 2 weeks, and I still kept getting a lot stronger. So for me, it's about how how effectively I reach up into that 1 rep max moment that day. If I hit a PR, then I'm good on my training. If I don't for some reason, then I'll back off the weight a little and I'll put in some sets, some 4, 5, 6 rep kind of heavy sets just to build some mass and some strength, a little more muscle mass in that area. But normally I'm hitting PRs pretty much for a while straight, no problem, doing a lift once a week where I just work my way up to my 1 rep max. Okay? That's just me. You can try it if it clicks with you. Everybody's metabolism, muscle fiber type, mindset, it's a little bit different. So what patterns and rhythms might work best with your body? I always encourage people to experiment with that because you'll find sweet spots for you that are different for other people on any of these things, like frequency of this or amount of volume of that. I mean, there's ranges to adjust things, and that's how you find your own sweet spots at a given time. So, but as general advice, that's how simple it is for me, power building. Okay? Okay, much love to you. Moving forward. Where are we at here? Thoughts on black holes and multi-universe theory. Thoughts on black holes and multi-universe theory. Well, a part of me knows that there's multi-universes, okay? The intuitive side of me that knows certain things. And I don't, so like my left brain can't explain it to you though, because it's just something I know. Like I don't know how I know it, and I wouldn't even know how to put it in words if I did know how I knew it, But to me, there's multiple universes for sure, okay? Why wouldn't there be? There's dimension upon dimension upon dimension upon everything folding upon itself. Life is like overlapped over life, running through life at all these different directions. Life is so thick with life beyond what we see and perceive, it's not even funny. So yeah, there's multiple universes, and they're infinite, the number of them and the size of them, and life itself is like that, and that's why you're an eternal being that'll never stop changing and exploring different versions of it and expanding upon yourself. Ta-da! Nice question, man. Much love. Oh yeah, thoughts on black holes. Well, I know they definitely crush things hard. Do they put you out into another universe? I don't know, maybe, I haven't meditated on that idea before, so I don't really have an opinion, but sounds like I guess it could be. If somebody believes they're pretty sure that's how it works, I wouldn't be surprised if something like that could happen, When you're bending time and space and gravity and all these energies in really high levels and putting it all together at a point like that, hey, I'm not going to argue if somebody thinks that could put you from here to there. Why not? So I know there's tricks and maneuvers for getting through places in space from here to there real fast. That's another one of those things I know, and yet I can't explain to you really how it works, but I think on some level you probably know it too. So yeah, we're good. Nice question, man. Much love. What are your views on relationships and breakups and girls in general? Sometimes I feel depressed not having a person around that has been with me for so many years. There's no bad blood between us, but sadly she wanted to move on instead of stick through with me, and we are only in touch rarely. How do I cope with this dark, cloudy, how do I deal with this dark cloud over my head while trying to stay motivated to lift and become a better person in all areas of my life? Thanks a lot, pal. I'm 23, by the way. Yeah, man, that's a lot, because you know what you're feeling there is like trying to lift and being semi-heartbroken or fully heartbroken, or if not heartbroken, that longing for someone, like you say, that you are very close to, that now you're separated from, at least, in a physical sense. And yeah, those two energies are very contradictory. Lifting requires a lot of force and battery and passion and motivation, and those other feelings are pretty sapping of that. I've put myself through workouts when I was upset and didn't feel right doing it and stuff, and I don't know, I mean, the truth is, energy work and healing on yourself and self-love, meditation practices where you get in touch with that, how to actually, at will, when you need to, stop what you're doing in life and recenter yourself in self-love in your heart so you feel totally wonderful. Okay, this can be learned, and then you can go back to your day. So it's like practices like that are needed more than ever. When you're dealing with things like what you're dealing with. So if there's anything that comes to mind along those lines that you'd like to look into or practice or focus more on, it's really going to help, because definitely you're going to have feelings for that person for some time. Always, you're always going to have feelings of some kind. I mean, you're connected to them, but that longing and pain and the suffering part of it, you'll definitely get past, and then it'll just be like an interesting, enriching experience to think about everything and reflect on and stuff. But not to say you might not get to back together with that person. I mean, I'm not saying that, but it's just, the truth is, yeah, I mean, a person should feel their feelings at a time like this. You don't want to close it off and not feel it and just be like, people learn that. They learn how to cut off their own feelings so they can just like do stuff and not be stopped by their feelings. But that's a very unfortunate habit. It takes all the color and joy out of everything in the rest of your life, because all your feelings stay shut. This is why you look around and see people that are just like withered and they don't feel anything anymore. It's because they learn to shut off feelings to protect themselves, and they don't realize that shuts off all your feelings, all the other ones too. Okay? So like all the joy out of life is gone too. This is what's going on in the world. So reopening the heart and healing it and giving yourself a lot of love, and all the things I mentioned along those lines are things I would encourage, and also just know every day you get further in distance from those heartstrings, and you're going to feel that more. At some point it's really going to help, and then you'll be really more ready to be back in the moment in your life. You're holding on to those, a good part of you is holding on right now. It's in the past, experiencing those things, and as more of that part of you lets go of holding on to that experience and catches up to where you are, you're going to feel it, and your energy's going to come back, and you're going to be present in the moment again instead of living a lot of you in the past. And that's what it is. It's an energy thing. So don't be hard on yourself if your workouts aren't the most hardcore thing or whatever. Maybe you could just focus on training in a little bit different way for a while, where your energy's lower. Another kind of training that has benefits, but it's not going to require you to be 100%. You know what I mean? So those are my thoughts on it, man. Much love to you. You're going to pull through it stronger and wiser and better, and find even better things in your horizons. But I know in the meantime, that feeling's still there, and it's very real, and you're dealing with it. So I feel for you, man. I can feel it. Much love to you. Okay. Okay, so you recommend taking digestive enzymes, but that would mean you'd have to take a pill every time you eat a meal. I do not want to depend on digestive enzyme pills to help digest food. Is there any other ways of improving digestion? I'm actually only recommending taking digestive enzymes when you combine various food groups together, okay? If you're eating reasonable food combinations, if you learn a little bit about that, things that are easy for you to digest, I would say don't take digestive enzymes with that. But when you end up cramming different food groups together, like a lot of people do, I was offering that as a way to compensate for that, because then you can digest a lot of it and not have near as much of a leftover damaging negative effect of what goes on in your gut. So it's just for those situations, okay? because of the world we're living in and fast-paced lives and the way things play out. But awesome question, man. Much love to you. Okay, I had a dream. I was blobble. I had a dream I was looking for crystals with the colors. I was looking for crystals with the colors of the rainbow, probably meaning chakras. A bunch of people were also, they were too, because we wanted to unlock a gate with these colors. I found turquoise, and after that we unlocked the gate. Shortly after I woke up, I've been carrying a turquoise crystal with me for the past few days. Interesting. Are you saying you were carrying the crystal before you had that dream? That doesn't surprise me. I mean, think about the symbology there, you know, that someone, and here's the thing, guys, about, especially when it's clear to you that you're getting a message in a dream, it's not your brain doing something random. It's not you just making it up for yourself. Someone is giving you a message, okay? Someone very much looking out in your best interest, who cares about you from a higher perspective. And you're being encouraged very much that stone has connected you to someone, okay? And that it's sort of a symbol of how they're connected to you. And that they're working in your life, and that you do sense them, okay? So going through a gate symbol like that, with the chakra symbols, I mean, that's amazing, you know. So follow your instincts on working with stones, and whatever you visualize doing as a chakra exercise, work with that, trust it, because these forces are at work in your life. You have a guide guiding you, okay, that's showing you that. It's very interested. Making contact in a way that's very comfortable, okay? And that's a relationship you can develop over time until you have, you know, a personal astral interaction with someone you know in person, okay? It can get to that point. So you're supposed to work with stones and crystals, as am I, okay? I was told that in dreams as well. And over the years, the dreams got stronger until they were very lucid, and I literally had amazing energy beings, you know, telling me, giving me even bigger hints and showing me the crystals and stuff, you know. And when I finally accepted, I was like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing with these, but a few of them have come into my life magically, so, yeah, magically. So I'm going to go ahead and, you know, sleep with it under my pillow, like I see in a dream, or, you know, sometimes I'll set it on my heart and think of, you know, whatever it was. Back then I didn't know anything, but a lot of things have unfolded since. So if you just follow that guidance, you're on a very good path, and a lot of things are going to start coming together faster and opening up bigger. That's awesome, man. It's very exciting. Much love to you. Thanks for sharing that. It's excellent. What do you think of the warrior diet? You fast for 20 hours. In this period, you can eat a piece of fruit, a bit of raw vegetables, or some fruit juice. And then at night, you have a big meal or two, divided, of course, in 4-hour period. Yeah, that's super similar to the way I do it, intermittent fasting. I don't eat fruit during the day. I mean, hey, once in a great while, I might make an exception for something. But no, might eat a little raw vegetables. Sometimes I'll drink a little bit of herbs. What else do I maybe take? Oh, glutamine. Lately I've been taking a little dose of glutamine after a workout on my fast during the day, okay? It's not that I need it, because I'm not breaking down after a workout. I'm not shrinking or breaking down. But just a little bit of glutamine when you work out hard all the time anyway is not a bad idea for your muscles and your stomach lining. And so far, so good. It's nice. So a lot of similarities. I'm not overly strict during the fasting part. If there's something healthy that I don't think is going to really ruin my fast, I can include that. And the 4-hour eating window, same thing, 1 or 2 meals in a 4-hour period, yeah. Now what I eat is going to be entirely different, because I eat a vegan diet, and it's totally different than any other vegan diet I've ever seen, of course. So that part's different, but yeah, timing wise, the way they're doing that, the way they're working with the metabolism there, pretty much same thing. Works well for me, I'll tell you that. Intermittent fasting, super health improvement and mind enhancement and mind body spirit connection, and body's healing from some things that, you know, it's awesome. So Just everything's getting better. Just better, better, better. Oh, so 2 thumbs up if you're, curious about intermittent fasting or any version of it like that. Yeah, I'd recommend trying it if you're curious. What do I think of racial IQ differences and the Jewish influence on the media? Also known as the Jewish question. The Jewish question, wow. I feel like I'm just making enemies even just saying that somehow. Okay, so racial IQ differences. Well, here's the way I think about stuff like that. It's like, yeah, you can go into some place in the modern world right now and go take 10 of this race in this little, where I'm not exactly sure where they're collecting these people, but for each group that they're testing. But if you look at current economics, current whatever, cultural differences and the way things are going, like in this country, of course you're going to have racial IQ differences on tests, because those tests, all the IQ tests I took, they had a lot to do with how much you paid attention in school, okay? And I know geniuses who didn't pay any attention in school. And I know a lot of kids who had a lot of shit going on in their personal life who missed out on a lot of school, So it's like, okay, well, this race scored lower on an IQ test. Well, so what? I mean, to me, at the end of the day, that doesn't really mean anything to me. It's just like circumstantial shit, based on people's lifestyle patterns right now. And people's beliefs and all those patterns, all that stuff that's affecting everybody. So, whatever test is used, okay, if somebody makes a test, oh, this is an IQ test. And by the way, I kind of consider IQ tests to be like, they're testing certain things about intelligence, but there's a whole hell of a lot of things they're not testing to do with intelligence, So it's kind of weird to say, oh, this is what's intelligence, and if you don't have this, you're not intelligent. It's like, well, I beg to differ, really, but I think mostly it's just something that someone uses to make races keep fighting with each other over stupid shit and be small-minded, so that the powers that be can keep everybody entertained and in conflict and whatever kind of distraction, so that nobody wakes themselves up, nobody does the self-work to awaken themselves inside and change the world just by being who they are, As long as there's always plenty of distractions and plenty of inflammatory statements and inflammatory studies to put out there to keep all the little divided, scared of each other groups fighting with each other, so that everybody's distracted, nobody's growing, nobody's waking up, nobody's working together to change the world, right? Because, like, if people are in harmony, everything would just be changed for the better. And the so-called powers that be are now, they wouldn't be there, because those positions and the way things are done wouldn't even be there anymore. So to me, racial IQ difference in the Jewish, media, whatever, yeah, okay, so a bunch of really wealthy people that are Jewish own a lot of the media, okay, so we know that, so, okay, to me it's like, okay, so what, that means that, what? It means that a lot of, I don't care, to be honest with you. I don't really care who owns the media, because the media is all just mind-washing shit anyway. Why would I care who owns that crap, To me, I never watch the media, hardly ever, unless somebody says, hey, look at this, and I happen to look over there for a second, walking by. It's all, from the time I was a kid, I'm watching the media, and it just felt robotic and stupid. Well, I don't even get it. I never connected with it, okay? Now, when there's a world event, sure, I'll hear about it. That's nice. It's nice to know the big things that are going on. But outside of that, the media is just mind control. It's the old magician trick. While everybody's looking at the hot topics of the media, the things that really make a difference in the world are not being looked at, Like what you have inside of you, for example. That can change the world. Not the media, okay? And not their crappy belief systems and games they play and whatever else. And I don't care which group owns it, okay? Whichever group owns something that influences everybody, that influences the herd, they're going to put their particular slant on shit. But I don't really care which particular slant on shit it is. It's all just slanted shit to me, you know what I mean? So I'm not mad at Jewish people because they own the media, and And I don't worry about stuff like that. It's just like, yeah, I know that rich people own the media, and rich people own everything that's all about public influence and public control. And I don't even care which rich people it is. That's the way it goes. They have the money, they pay to keep things the way they like them, that keeps them in that position. And I'm not saying every rich person's like that. I mean, the world's changing. There's going to be rich people that awaken and come alive and use their resources to just multiply the expansion of awareness on this planet, guys. And a lot of that is what we believe. If everybody in the world projects that all rich people are bad or something and they're never ever going to do anything good with their money, well, then they probably won't, because everybody's agreed with that in the collective unconscious. But if you give rich people a chance, for crying out loud, I mean, this goes to my reptilian videos about personal strength and willpower. The message there. It's like, if you're going to hate rich people because they're rich, all you're really doing is hating richness, and you're manifesting the fact that you'll never have that problem, okay? Because you hate it so much, right? You're saying money's bad. If you have a lot of it, you're bad. You're some kind of evil, lying, populist, manipulating monster creature, evil dictator, I don't know, whatever the judgment is. It's like, that just means that you believe that wealth and resources will destroy who you are, and the universe will just say yes to you. Okay, yes, fine, don't worry about that. You won't have wealth and resources, and that's totally fine. And not everybody wants that, and not everybody has even time to be distracted by wealth. But there's a lot of people that are simultaneously jealous about people that have all the money, and they're sitting there judging them for having all the money. So what are we doing to ourselves? This is why people need to know that you're a creator. This is why you need to discover what's inside of you. And then you'll understand how life works and how you work and how reality manifests. And there won't need to be people projecting stuff all over the place and not seeing how we're creating our own experience, okay? Because we are. Awesome questions, man. I mean, they sound like really just like inflammatory questions, but of course with me it always goes somewhere different, Like, I don't care. I so abhor small-minded bickering between groups of people that's been instigated by people slightly smarter than them that just like to watch them fight with each other and beat each other down, be scared of it. I just abhor the whole scene, so I go, nope, I don't have any time for that. I'm going to go astral project or do something productive, because no thanks. Just makes my stomach, lost my appetite watching the things that humans are taught to do with each other, It's just so, it's just not cool. But anyway. Alright, carrying on. Good questions, guys. Much love to you. What's my opinion on digestive enzyme supplements? Well, I take good plant-based digestive enzymes anytime I'm eating a big pile of different foods mixed together, and it really, really helps. And that's a good thing, man. Anything that stops you from hurting your stomach when you're overeating or eating combinations of things you shouldn't, that's good. That's your friend, Don't take them with every meal all the time, because like someone alluded to earlier, you don't want to make your body dependent on something like that. It's just something you would use when you're eating things that you probably shouldn't be combining together, or you're just eating too much of something and your poor stomach's just going to be like, oh, what am I supposed to do with this, That's hard on your digestive system when you overload it really hard. So in a time like that, you would want to take digestive enzymes. They'd help you digest all that, and you'd actually get the nutrients instead of just getting a massive amount of intestinal whatever, So, yep, they have their place, and they can be a very awesome tool for a lot of reasons. Health, bodybuilding, life for a lot of people. It's a crazy world where people eat a lot of things that shouldn't be put together in a stomach, and digestive enzymes would save a lot of them from a lot of health problems. I probably should have said that from the beginning and answered the question in one sentence. Much love to you, friend. Have you done any martial arts? Do you think it's safe for a teen to do boxing? Yes, I've done martial arts, yes. Boxing, many forms. And when you say, is it safe, it's like, well, It's not entirely safe, of course, but neither is riding a bicycle. You know, there's a there's a lot of dangers to riding a bicycle. You know, if you box, you're going to get hit in the face, in the head. You're going to get your brain jarred. Is that going to give you brain damage? Probably not. Most people that have boxing experience are fine. So, if you're into it, if it's something you want to do, if it's something you're excited about, I think you'll be fine. Okay? People that dwell on, oh, I might get hurt doing this, they're usually, you probably shouldn't do it if that's the way you're thinking, you know? Because you might just be looking for a getting hurt experience. That might be what on a subconscious level you're looking for there, not to spook you. But if you think about boxing like I want to box to box, then yeah, go box and box to win, you know, and fight to win, you know, and enjoy it and be good at it. And I'll tell you what, man, you're an empowered person if you're a boxer, okay? Like, I mean, how many cool videos have you seen where some idiots like try to rob some woman or something, or even some dude, some chick, and he like knocks out 4 guys in a big hurry because you know they're just like street assholes, and you know he actually knows how to box. I mean, yeah, it's a very empowering, amazing thing. So if you're into it, I'd say do it. It's great. Discipline and control and learning and courage and focus, and it takes a whole bunch of amazing character traits to be good at a thing like that, you know. And those are traits that you're gonna use. You can use for anything. So it's time well spent, you know. It's good if you're into it. Nice question, man. Much love for you. Thoughts on biokinesis? Biokinesis. Damn, which one's biokinesis? Is that the one where you start stuff on fire with your hands or whatever? If it is, I've seen those videos, and I'm not going to say every case that's ever been a video is necessarily real, but I believe it. I believe in it. You know, I've had things occur to me now that I can't believe it, and yet it's real and it's true and it's here. And so yeah, I judging from my life experience, I think I'd be a fool not to believe that it's real. Okay, who can do it? Who can't? I don't know, but somebody can. It's real. Now that's if it's that light the fire, heat something with your hand, maybe start some paper on fire. If it's something else, let me know. Probably have some thoughts on that too. Cool question though. I believe it could be done. So like, you know, maybe you're the next guy to pull it off. You know, like the next. I don't know what kind of focus and training and David Blaine-like intensity you have to make a goal like that happen. But you know what? If you feel inspired, you're probably the one that's going to find it, you know, the way to make it happen. That's what I've noticed about life. One of those things. So awesome question, man. Much love to you. How much time we got in this video? Wow, 70 minutes. Sorry, I didn't mean to kick that. Okay, next question. Young guy shortly coming out of college, finance major, but I'm very disillusioned and I don't want to work in that field. A lot of advice from male spaces on the internet stresses the importance of getting rich. How do you balance money, security with freedom and fulfillment? Money and security with freedom and fulfillment. Yeah. For me, now here's the thing, man. I'm not rich. I've never even had a vision to get rich that I cared about to pursue. Now it could happen. It could actually happen because I'm not resistant to money anymore. I was resistant to money my whole life on a subconscious level, and a lot of people are, and they don't know it. They don't realize how this works. But anyway, without getting overly far off into that particular angle of it. For me, the most important thing is the inner world, the inner balance, because then things on the outside, whatever they are, you're just like, oh, that's cool, and you're good with it, and things just get better on the outside. When you fight too hard outwardly and you neglect your inner world, it just gets to where you just fight harder and harder and harder, and everything just gets harder and harder and harder. So To me, starting from the inside, having a real vision, a real connection, mind, body, and spirit for who you are, a real vision for what it's about for you, a bigger vision about what you're setting up, and the one that you feel. And remember, balance is a personal thing. It's not like you take a scale and it has to be equal on both sides. Balance, really, in the sense of us, a person, a consciousness, it's going to be your balance. What's your balance that feels really good for you, and actually works with your life? Because most people, the way I live is what some people would call the most unbalanced thing ever. And yet, to me, I need to live the way I live to feel my balance. You know what I mean? So when it comes to those things there, you need to have that vision for yourself. What is wealth to you as far as money? How much is security? How much is freedom? How much freedom do you really crave, and how much would fulfill you there? And what kind of freedom? Okay, what kind of freedom are you looking for? And fulfillment, of course. Now the best fulfillment to me always comes from inner mystical work, exploration of that kind. But there's a lot of things in this world that bring me fulfillment doing too. Things I have a passion for that I put a lot of drive into, and most of them in my case don't cost much money, although there are things sometimes where I have had frustrations and limitations that way. It was like, if I just had the resources to do this right now, I could create something really awesome. But without getting sidelined, man, remember, it's about your balance. But you say you're very disillusioned and you don't want to work in that field. Well, you know what, man? The answer's already there. That's your heart talking. If you go work in that field, it's because in your mind you've been convinced that, that's what you need to do. It's the responsible or the logical or the reasonable or whatever. But trust me, and you don't have to trust me. You can learn this for yourself. I did. I knew better, and I stayed in things that my heart weren't in until life forced me out of it finally, and I'm thankful. But it's pretty harsh the way I had to be forced out. And you can skip all that now and start getting closer to your true path by figuring out what that is in your heart there. You know what it is now you don't want. You don't want to go on this pre-planned, pre-packaged, get the money, get the house, do the same shit that a bunch of people are doing, and probably just become empty inside like a zombie in the process, right? That's not what you want. So, and let me tell you this, man. If you're open to money and wealth and abundance and stuff, you can find who you really are inside, the creative, visionary, interesting, big you that you probably wouldn't even believe how big and creative, and live from that vision, and probably you could easily end up being more wealthy from doing that than you ever will from all the hard work you're going to put into some pre-planned, this is how you get wealth doing this life. That's just like whoop-de-doo. At the end, if you live a life that isn't with your heart, and what are you going to do? Okay, what was my life? Write down on a piece of paper, I made this much money, I lived in these houses, blah, 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 all the stuff. The stuff, it's just a bunch of stuff, right? And stuff's great, but not when this is empty and neglected and shut down inside, man. Like, there's no richness to it, right? That childhood wonderment that anything's possible, and that open heart and that feeling of joy and excitement, if all that's gone, because all you do is crunch numbers to earn numbers, like what? It's not you. Money can come, but don't chase money and what do you have to do that? To put the money and the job and the responsibility first, you have to, this is what happens in this world to so many people, you have to betray your inner child and who you really are. You have to betray them. You have to lock them away somewhere where eventually they don't even see the light of day anymore, right? So no, don't go for the money first. Go for, yes, obviously a person has to balance their financial responsibility of being here, right? Like, it costs us to even be on this planet. And so you have to take care of that, your basic needs and whatnot. And that has to be a priority in the sense that it's just a responsibility you got to do, right? But outside of that, the whole, oh, here's my plan to make my fortune in life, but it sucks. Man, I really just got to speak from the heart. Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm not telling you what to do, and I'll love you no matter whatever you do or don't do, but I'm just sharing from my heart. I already know the truth, and so do you. The question is, do you follow your heart, or do you follow what the world says, you know? And I believe that if you look in your heart and take the time to find out what's there in the authentic vision, the real you, the one that has an endless supply of passion for something, and you pursue that path, you'll end up making all the money, okay? But you'll have lived the whole way there, and you'll be much more alive when you get there because you're continuing to expand every day instead of being dead by the time you have all your money. You're just a zombie. You know what I mean? We're talking metaphors, but look around at these people. Just sit in downtown and watch the people carrying their briefcases. They don't even look up. They're not even like alive, you know? It's scary. So anyway, that's my 2 cents and, you know, maybe a little extra spare change. Much love to you, man. Alright, that's all for tonight, guys. Got to get the kids to bed and do a few other things. So we knocked out a few more. And I'm just going to keep working down the list here on the Q&As. So yeah, just keep adding to the list, and I'll get caught up whenever I get caught up, you know, actually. So, but for now, it's nice just to have a lot of awesome, deep questions posted on the board. And when I do have a day where I actually get some recording time for that, I just put in some questions with you. So I hope you enjoyed our time in the jungle. I hope you didn't get malaria from the mosquito bites. I hope some of you in the back didn't get eaten by jaguars. But if you did, the jaguar poop will fertilize the jungle and you'll grow into a very special tree, or your body will. So hopefully that's comforting. Alright, Jedis, over and out for now. Much love to everybody. And in the meantime, may the Force be with you.